Welcome to the second of our Acorn videos. Last week I was at Lonehead Primary doing a school assembly. We had one class in the assembly hall and then a Zoom connection to all of the other classes. And it was really nice to have that interaction with the children rather than just be staring at a screen. We were looking together at Psalm 23, "The Lord's my shepherd." And I was talking with them about being in scary places as we thought about the valley of the shadow of death. One of the questions I asked them was about who they would want with them in a scary place. And I wasn't quite prepared for the answers. The first response was their dog. And then after the usual, my parents or my friends, two young boys piped up, we would want the FBI with us. And two of the primary sevens who were helping set everything up said, we'd like a bouncer. It all raised a bit of a laugh. And it led from there to me talking about the way that God is always with us and that God is powerful, just like the FBI and the bouncers. So we need not be afraid. I'm not sure how much of that they took in, but it was good to be sharing with them about faith, about what we believe in God and the way that God is with us. Now, most of you, perhaps none of you, will get the opportunity for that kind of thing in your week. An opportunity, or any opportunity that you get to share faith, is in a much more informal setting. And it can be easy to think that those opportunities never come your way. But I suspect they do, more often than you're aware. And that's what these Acorn videos and discussions are all about, looking for and spotting the moments that are there for us in everyday life. Opportunities to speak openly and honestly about faith. So let me tell you about a conversation I had one-to-one with someone that may be closer to your experience of sharing faith. We were talking and sharing about different things. And in the middle of that, they said to me, I don't really consider myself a Christian. It seemed a strange comment to make, and I was about to pass over it and talk about other things when I realised that they were actually giving me an opportunity to talk about faith. They were signalling that, and I, not they, were about to pass it by. So I stopped myself and said, what would make you say that? It opened things up for them, and what flowed from that was a very simple conversation about faith and what we believe. Something they started, not me, and something that I unwittingly had been ready to close down. Now I share that because I've had that experience before, of closing down conversations about faith. Not deliberately, but I've somehow missed the signal that the person I was speaking to was giving to me. That they were open to talk about faith. I saw it during my training when I was working with a hospital chaplain and visited the same ward and therefore the same people over a period of weeks. One man I got to know quite well. And one week when I went in, he told me he'd gone to the church service in the hospital on the Sunday. Now this was someone who never went to church. My response was to say, that's great. And then I moved on to ask him about the man who had been in the bed next to him. He opened the door to talk about faith, and I missed it. I closed the door. And it wasn't until the chaplain spoke to me about the conversation, asked what had gone on, and pointed this out to me that I realised what I had done. It was so easy to do. He was ready to speak, and I didn't give him the opportunity. And I suspect that the same is true for most of us. And as I said, that's why these Acorn conversations are important. The A from Acorn stands for ask. Ask God for opportunities to talk about faith. And the C stands for call. Be open to God's call to speak when the opportunities come. But I would say do so in a way that lets the other person set the pace. Ask, call, respond to those moments when the opportunities are there. So in your small group or with your Acorn partners, you might want to think about what your experiences have been and whether you are like me. Have there been opportunities for you over the last week, or perhaps even thinking back further than that? Times when someone else actually opened the door to talk about faith? And if they did, how did you respond? Did you close it down, or did you take that opportunity? And can you look for those in the week ahead? Not opportunities to ram your faith down someone else's throat, but can you listen to the times when they signal that they would be open and would welcome a conversation about faith, no matter how fleeting or short that conversation might be? Might you even ask that God would give you that opportunity? Not school assemblies to lead, but quiet conversations to have.